Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August 10th. The last year division winners are still in control of their season, and we've got pitching milestones. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We are getting to the nitty-gritty, very intense baseball games of the season. About 45, just under 50 games left of the season, about 45, 46, depending on which team you support. So it's time to go if you are still trying to win some games right now, trying to make it to the postseason. Any team can still get any position in the standings, so it's still wide open. Although I don't think the Angels or Rockies are going to win the division and be the best team in the AL or NL. But it still theoretically could happen. A lot needs to go right, though, of course. With that being said, I guess let's just dive on into our series recap. Leading us off, we have the Braves and the Yankees. The Yankees scored 2 in the 9th to tie it up. They hold the Braves in the 10th and then walk it off on a Ryan McMahon sac fly as they take the opener 3-2 in 10. George Lombard Jr. and Ben Rice both go deep in a 5-4 Yankees win. And in the last game, it's another extra innings game. This time the Braves score on a Michael Harris II single. They hold the Yankees to avoid the sweep as they take a 2-1 victory in 10. A's and Red Sox, the mighty Red Sox continue to dominate. Jarren Duran, he homers. The Red Sox score 5 in the second, while Peyton Tolley gets a career-high 14 strikeouts. Boston, the blowout, 13-1 the final. In Game 2, Tyler Soderstrom and Henry Bolte both homer. Gage Jump once again beats the Boston Red Sox. He ends their 9-game winning streak as the A's win it 7-3. And in the last game, Max Muncy comes up clutch with a go-ahead double in the 9th that breaks the score, the tie, and the A's come back to beat Boston in a series. They hand them back-to-back losses and their first series loss since Washington Nationals when they lost on the last day of June and the first day of July. 4-3 A's, they take this series. Cubs and Royals, a couple of 2-run singles in the second from Pete Crow Armstrong and Seiya Suzuki gives the Cubs a 4-run inning as Kevin Gausman goes to work in his Cubs debut. Cubs win it 6-4. It's a jack of all trades though, as Jack Caglione in the second game, he goes 4 for 4 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs. Have a night, Jack. 6-3 Royals even up the series, but in the last game, it's Ian Happ, Miguel Amaya, they both homer. The Cubs win it 10-2 and take 2 of 3 from the Royals. Guardians and White Sox, a big series for the AL Central. Angel Martinez hits a grand slam as the Guardians score 5 in the 5th. Stephen Kwan homers later on as the Guardians take the opener, win it 8-2. Angel Giano hits his first career MLB home run, but the White Sox score 5 in the 6th, including a Munetaka Murakami homer. They even up the series 6-3 to final, and in the rematch, Colson Montgomery hits a 3-run home run that finishes off a 4-run third inning, which ends up being the difference in a big series win for the White Sox. They take a 5-3 victory. Orioles and Rangers now. Jock Peterson hit a go-ahead 2-run home run for Texas, and it's their only run, but it's enough for the win as Texas wins it 2-1. Corey Seager gets some big insurance runs in the second game, a 3-run homer in the 8th. Texas a 5-1 victory, and in the last game, Pete Alonso a 2-homer game. Colton Cowser goes deep, as does Tyler O'Neill. Baltimore avoids the sweep with a 10-5 victory over Texas. Rays and Mariners now. Johnny DeLuca, Jonathan Aranda both go deep in a 2-1 Rays win. Then in Game 2, Josh Naylor, a 2-homer game. Victor Mesa Jr. homers for the Rays, as does Richie Palacios, a go-ahead 2-run single. The Rays take a 3-2 victory, and in the last game, Liam Hicks drives in a 2-run double. The Rays sweep the Mariners. They win that last game 4-1. Angels and Marlins now. Mike Trout does what he does best, homering on his birthday. He goes deep. Nolan Schanuel got one in for the celebration with a home run as well. 4-3 Halos, they take the opener. Xavier Edwards drives in 3 runs in the next game. Otto Lopez with 2, while Sandy Alcantara shoves 7-0 Marlins. And in the last game, Griffin Conine, a 2-homer game. The Marlins score 6 runs in the 5th. They blow it open. 12-3 the final to take this series against the Halos. Blue Jays and Phillies, Andres Jimenez and Josh Smith both go deep. Josh Smith's first homer as a Blue Jay. The Jays win a nail-biter, 5-4 the final. In the second game, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. goes deep, just his 7th homer of this season. The Phillies, though, score 4 in the 6th to take the lead with home run help from Trey Turner and Bryce Harper, who go back-to-back to tie it. The Jays then tie it in the 8th, and we go to extras where Nathan Lucas hits a 2-run homer in the 11th. The Jays hold the Phillies to take a 7-5 victory. And in the last game, Kyle Schwarber, a 2-homer game. The Jays down 3, score 3 in the 8th to tie it up, and once again force extras, but this time the Phillies win it as they walk it off on a Derek Hill single. They win it 7-6 in the 12th inning to avoid the sweep to the Blue Jays. Reds and Nationals now. Dalen Lyle, a 3-run home run. The Reds tie it with 3 solo shots from Eugenio Suarez, Matt McClain, and Ellie De La Cruz, who go back-to-back. The Nats retake the lead, though, on a Harry Ford 2-run home run, and that's all the scoring in this one. The Nats win it 5-3. In Game 2, Andreas Chaparro comes off the bench and goes 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs to help the Nats with an 8-2 victory. And in the last game, it's Abmelik Ortiz with a home run. The Nationals score 7 unanswered after falling behind 1-0. They take a 7-1 victory, and the Nats sweep the Reds. Mets and Pirates now. Marcus Semien, a big 3-run home run. That home run ends up being the difference in a 6-4 Mets win. Then Brandon Lau in Game 2. He homers to cap off the blowout win. Pirates win it 9-0. And in the last game, Luis Robert Jr., Francisco Alvarez, they both go deep. The Mets blow out the Pirates in that game, 11-1 the final as they take 2 of 3 from Pittsburgh. Twins and Brewers now. Colleen Culpepper hits his first career MLB hit, which happens to be his first career MLB home run. Josh Bell homers as well. The Twins score 2 runs in 4 straight innings. They take an 8-6 victory over the Brewers. However, the Brewers come back in Game 2, scoring 3 unanswered, including a go-ahead Andrew Vaughn single. The Brewers win it 4-3, and in the last game, Jackson Churio and Jake Bowers homer for the Brewers. Brooks Lee and Cody Clemens homer for the Twins. As Clemens' homer ties this game up, we go to extras with the Brewers win it on a walk-off single from Jake Bowers. Brewers win it 4-3 in 10 to take 2 of 3 from the Twins. Rockies and Cardinals. Ivan Herrera homers for the Cardinals to help them take a 3-2 victory in the opener. Then in the second game, it's the Jake McCarthy game. He goes 4 for 5 with 2 homers, 3 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. 8-6 Rockies. What a game for him. But in the last game, the Cardinals top 6 in the batting order each get at least 1 RBI today. Now that is a team win as the Cardinals take it 7-4 and take 2 of 3 from the Rockies. Dodgers and D-backs now. Andy Pages hits a go-ahead homer in the 8th. However, the D-backs win it on a walk-off 2-run homer from Ryan Waldschmidt. His second career home run gives the Dodgers their 7th straight loss as the D-backs take a 4-3 victory. In the second game, another blown save for Edwin Diaz as he gives up back-to-back triples for the D-backs to tie it. We go to extras. However, Shohei gets the RBI single. The Dodgers hold on to end their losing streak, and the D-backs they lose that one. Dodgers 2-1 in 10. Our match, Ketel Marte, a 2-run homer in the first, and the D-backs pitchers did a great job to hold off the Dodgers in this series. D-backs with a 4-2 victory and take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. NL West getting spicy. Astros and Padres now. Cam Smith, a big day at the office, 2-homer game and a big part of the Astros opening win, 6-3 the final. Jackson Merrill homers in a 3-2 Padres win to even up the series. And in the road match, Dalton Varsho hits his first career home run as an Astro. Jackson Merrill homers again, as does Fernando Tatis Jr., who hits a go-ahead 3-run home run. Gavin Sheets and Austin Hayes both homer as some insurance. The Padres win it 7-2 and take 2-3 from the Astros. And last but not least, we have the Tigers and the Giants. Rafael Devers, Willy Adames, they both go deep in a 5-2 Giants win. The Tigers unload in the 7th with 6 runs to turn this game into a blowout, beating the Giants 8-0. And in the rematch, this one goes to extras. The Tigers score 2 runs and hold the Giants from even scoring 1. They take the game and the series 3-1 the final in 10. And that's your series recap. All right, now let's get to the game of the weekend. We're going to Philly for Game 2 between the Blue Jays and Phillies on Saturday. And it starts in the top of the first, where Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who misses the last 3 games with a hamstring, ends up homering in his first at-bat of the day, his 7th of the season, puts the Jays up 1-0. He then comes up and goes 2 for 2 as he picks up an RBI single in the top of the third. It would stay 2-0 until the bottom of the 6th, where Trey Turner homers off of his former teammate Max Scherzer, his 17th of the season. The solo shot puts the Phillies on the board. Right behind him is another former teammate of Max Scherzer's, Bryce Harper. Hits his 25th homer of the season. The back-to-back home runs ties this game up at 2, but the inning is not over. It continues on where Brandon Marsh gets a sac fly to make it 3-2 and give the Phillies the lead. And then Justin Crawford hits a triple that brings in a 4th run of the inning. It's 4-2 Philly. Top 8, though, with 2 runners on. Andres Jimenez comes up clutch, hits a 2-run double down the line, or to center field, I guess. And it is 4-4 as the Jays tie this game up. We go to extras where Andres Jimenez hits a sac fly in the 10th inning to get the Jays on the board. However, Luis Reyes gets that run back in the bottom of the 10th to tie it up 5-5. We go to the 11th where Nathan Lucas, with 2 outs in the inning and no runners in yet, hits the 2-run home run, his 6th of the season, and it was a big one. Jays end up holding on to that lead 7-5. The final is the score, and they ended up winning the series with this game. They ended up taking 2 of 3 from the Phillies, who win the last game. That is your game of the weekend there. And now it brings us to some baseball news. And we're going to be talking about things really quickly here because, again, we're trying to keep this episode short and sweet. And something that I came across, I was just looking through some scheduling and stuff. Last year in the AL, the best teams in baseball and the division winners, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Detroit Tigers, and the Seattle Mariners. And I think all of the 3 could say that their season hasn't gone according to plan. The Mariners are 56 and 63, as are the Blue Jays at 56 and 63. The Tigers at 58 and 60. All had very disappointing seasons and have been, dealing with injuries. Of course, Tigers trading away Skubal and Mize at the deadline. Mariners, they've been they can't stay consistent with their offense. It's been really tough, but despite that, they're all within striking distance of a wild card and even a division for some of those teams. The Blue Jays are 3.5 back of the wild card, as are the Mariners. The Tigers are just 1 game back of the wild card. Division-wise, the Tigers are 3.5 back of the White Sox. They've moved into 2nd place, passing both Minnesota and Cleveland by only half a game. The Mariners are only 4 games back. Of course, they still have to pass both Texas and Houston. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays, they're 16 games back, but that's because of how dang good the Rays have been, as well as the Yankees and Red Sox. But, work to be done there for Toronto. I think the division's out of the play here, but all 3 of these teams can still make the wild card. But if it's going to happen, it's going to happen this month. When you take a look at the remaining 6 series for these teams, the Mariners have 3 against the Yankees, a very good team. 3 at Houston, another very good team. Then 3 at Milwaukee, who's been one of the best teams in baseball all season long. Then 3 versus the Cubs, who have been another one of the best teams all year long and are trying to catch up the Brewers. Then they host the Phillies for 3, who of course trying to track down the Braves. And then they get 3 in Toronto. Those 6 series are huge for the Mariners. The Tigers go 3 against Cleveland, right? Okay, the team that's just behind them by half a game. That's big. Then they go 3 against the White Sox, who, of course, are leading the division. That's a huge series there. They got 3 against Pittsburgh, who is an easier team. 3 against the Royals, again, an easier team. But then they finish up with the best team in the AL, 3 against the Rays. And then, of course, the Dodgers, 3 against the Dodgers. So the Tigers have 2 really important division matchups, 2 series that should be easy for them to take down, and then 2 against the best of the best, 2 of the 4 teams that are 70 wins on the season already in the Rays and Dodgers. And if that's not scary enough, the Blue Jays might have the scariest remaining August of these 3 teams. Their next series, 4 against Boston, who's been so good these last month and a bit. Then 3 against the Yankees, 3 against the Rays in Tropicana, and then 3 in New York against the Yankees. Their next, Their next 13 games are all against the top 3 teams in their division. They then get a break with 3 against Kansas City before hosting the Mariners in the ALCS rematch in Toronto. This is a huge month for these 3 teams, and when you look at how heavy these schedules are, we're going to be getting to September, and it's going to be, hey, which of these 3 teams are out of it and which of these 3 teams are in it? Because right now they're all flirting around the line. And in my head, there's no way these 3 teams are going to be about the same spot come September. Either they're going to get their asses whooped by these teams that have been better than them all season long. Like, it's not an argument. Boston's been better. The Yankees have been better. The Brewers, Cubs, Dodgers, Rays, all better than Blue Jays, Tigers, Mariners, Houston, same thing. Or they're going to take care of their business and they're going to close the gaps down in a big way. I mean, Mariners 3 against Houston, you sweep that series, and guess what? Now you're within a game of Houston for the division. And I know what I said earlier about it's, anyone can get anything, right? The Angels can still win the AL West and be the best team in the AL. The Rockies can still win the NL West and be the best team in the NL. That's how many games we have left. Of course, things still have to go for their ways. They'd have to win out and then have the Dodgers lose out and all this stuff. Obviously, it's not likely, and obviously every team is still in their control. Right now, if any team wins the rest of their games, they're going to make the postseason, obviously, duh. But what I'm saying here is that these 3 teams, who were the AL East, Central, and West winners last year, have very, very heavy schedules to finish up August, and if they can get through these August games, they have easier Septembers, and I think they'd have a real good shot at finding their way back into the postseason. Maybe not as division winners, definitely not for the Blue Jays in that case, but for the Tigers and Mariners, maybe you can win the division still. But definitely wild cards are on the table, so those 3 teams are the teams that I'm going to be watching heavily for the month of August here that I want to talk about. And I also want to give some shout outs to some pitchers over the weekend here because there were some notable things. Jacob Mizorowski became the first pitcher this year to get to 200 strikeouts. Pretty impressive, pretty cool. He is just the second fastest ever to reach this amount of strikeouts in certain innings pitched, just behind Spencer Strider, who I believe did it in 2023. I think it was Spencer Strider 2023, Jacob Mizorowski 2026, Spencer Strider 2022, which just goes to show you how incredible Strider was in that 2-year span. Aaron Nola, big shout out to him. He is at his 200th career strikeout. He got it against the Blue Jays over the weekend. He became the 8th active player to reach the 2,000 strikeout mark. He became the 3rd pitcher to do it this year. Kevin Gausman did it earlier in the year, followed up by Sonny Gray. Now it's him, and they're not the only ones who might reach this milestone. Jacob deGrom is currently sitting at 1,995. So he is 5 strikeouts away, so deGrom is going to reach it. Zach Wheeler at 1,952. So he needs 48 more strikeouts for him to reach that milestone as well. Patrick Corbin, he's about 77 away, so still ways to go for him. Robbie Ray is about 100 and 50-ish away still, so not likely that he will do it this year. Basically, DeGrom will be the fourth one to do it, and then maybe Zach Wheeler would be the fifth. Those are the current active ones there. But yeah, shout out Aaron Nola. Big milestone for him. He's done it for a long time, all with the Phillies, so shout out him. Max Scherzer against the Phillies. He is now top 10 all time for strikeouts in MLB history. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. Are you kidding me? Insane for Max Scherzer to do what he did. Yeah, just sensational. Like, wow. To be top 10 all time, man, all time is out of this world. So shout out Max Scherzer, and then also shout out Sandy Alcantara, who I mentioned earlier. He became the franchise leader, or not earlier, but like in earlier episodes, he became the franchise leader for the Marlins in strikeouts. Now he's the all-time Marlins franchise leader in innings pitched, meaning that no other player has ever recorded more outs for the Marlins than Sandy Alcantara. Really cool for him. Shout out the Marlins, shout out Alcantara there. Alcantara. I always forget how you pronounce that guy's name, but still, big shout out him. Nola, Scherzer, and Ms. Arousgi, obviously, as well. Good for all of them. And now that will take us to our hot and colds from the week here. There's been some hot players, including Jake McCarthy, who was 14 for 27 with 3 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 8 runs, and a 1.352 OPS. Jack Haglione, 11 for 23 with 3 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 3 runs, a 1.348 OPS. Bryson Stott comes in 10 for 22 with 4 doubles, 3 RBIs, 5 runs, 8 walks, and 0 strikeouts. Didn't strike out at all this week. A 1.236 OPS. And then we got some Mets here. Carson Benz, 9 for 22, a triple, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 6 runs, good for a 1.208 OPS. And then Bo Bichette, 11 for 26, 3 doubles, a homer, 6 RBIs, 4 runs, a 1.118 OPS. The cold players of the week here. Jeremy Pena goes 1 for 24 with 8 strikeouts. Max Muncy 1 for 14 with 9 strikeouts. Esmerlin Valdez 1 for 16 with 13 strikeouts. Not a fun week for him. Lawrence Butler, 2 for 22 with 3 strikeouts, and Vaughn Grissom, 2 for 20 with 7 strikeouts. Those are the hot and colds from the week. That gets us now to our injury updates. From the weekend. Joe Ryan on the 15-day IL with a strained glute. Rays are losing Griffin Jax on the 15-day IL with elbow discomfort. Luis Urias on the 10-day IL with a strained quad. Slade Ciciani on the 15-day IL with arm fatigue. Joey Bart on the 10-day IL with a fractured left hand. He's out for at least a month. That sucks for the White Sox, who just traded for him. And then Cooper Pratt from the Brewers, 10-day IL with a strained hamstring as well. So those are the injury updates that came from this weekend. And that takes us to our outstanding performances from this weekend. Nice list of names here, including Max Fried, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. Tyler Mahle, in his Braves debut, goes 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks. Peyton Tolley from the Red Sox, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, and a career-high 14 strikeouts. What a day for him. Guardians, Parker Messick, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts. Shane Baz, 8 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 9 Ks. Drew Rasmussen, 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. Shout out Gage Jump, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts, though. When you take a look at the Red Sox last 3 losses, or his last 4 losses, I guess, it's 3 of them to the Athletics, which is hilarious. 2 of those 3, Gage Jump was pitching and dominated, and of course that other loss came when they got complete game shutout from Dylan Cease. So that is where the Red Sox losses have come from since the start of July. Sandy Alcantara, however you want to pronounce it, 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, a walk, and 8 Ks. And of course, Marlins history there. Brandon fought against the Dodgers, 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Michael King, 6 innings, 3 hits, a run, a walk, and 6 Ks. Cam Schlittler, 7 innings, 3 hits, a run, no walks, and 11 strikeouts. Jesus Luzardo, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 12 strikeouts. Sean Manaea, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 11 strikeouts. Eduardo Rodriguez, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. And lastly, Logan Webb, 8 innings, 4 hits, just 1 run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Those are the outstanding performances from the weekend here, and that brings us to a standings check. How is the baseball looking here? Well, in the AL East, the Rays are the only team to 70 wins on the season. They're 71-46 and have won 6 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10 and are looking good. The Yankees, 5.5 back of the Rays, have work to do. They're 66-52, and Boston, 64-53, are 7 games back and 2.5 games back of the Yankees. Those are the 3 battling it out there. In the AL Central, the White Sox currently have the lead. They're 61-56. They have a 3.5 game lead over the Tigers, who are 58-60. And the Tigers have a half a game lead over both the Twins and the Guardians, who are 58-61. So the Tigers, Twins, and Guardians all have 58 wins. The only difference is the Tigers have 1 less loss, which means 1 less game played. They're all right there, neck and neck, Twins and Guardians, 4 games back of the White Sox. It's a 4-way battle for the Central right now. That's a very exciting watch there. In the AL West, the Astros have a 1 game lead over 500. They're 60-59. They have a half a game lead over the Texas Rangers, who are at 500 at 59-59. So the Astros have played an extra game and have won that extra game. Mariners, 56-63, 4 games back. They're on a 4-game losing streak and 3-7 in their last 10. They need to turn it around to stay in that 3-team race with the Astros and the Rangers. So that is what the AL is saying. For the NL, the Braves, 8-2 in their last 10, 71-47, one of the 4 teams that got to 70 wins on the season. They have an 8.5 game lead over the Phillies, and they're doing much better. They kind of slowed down a little bit in the middle of the season. Phillies and Marlins caught up a little bit, but they've taken off since, while the Phillies and Marlins have both slowed down. Phillies are 63-56. Marlins 60-59, Nationals 59-61. Still Phillies 8.5 back of the Braves, so still work to do there, but it is the Braves division to lose for sure. In the NL Central, the Brewers 74-44. They're the best team in baseball with that record, 7-3 in their last 10. They have a 5.5 game lead over the Cubs, who are 69-50. The Cubs probably going to become the 5th team to reach the 70 win mark this season. The Cubs have been great, but the Brewers have been so much better. But that 5.5 game difference is definitely still in striking distance for the Cubs here. So those are the 2 teams battling it out for the Central. And then in the NL West, the Dodgers were on the 7-game losing streak. They've lost 8 of their last 9, and are struggling in a big way. And not only that, but the Diamondbacks, they're 5-1 against the Dodgers in their last 6 games here. Dodgers are at 70-48. They have a 7.5 game lead over the Diamondbacks, who are 63-56. The Padres at 62-57 are 8.5 back of the Dodgers. And you're thinking, well, 7.5, that's still pretty large. And I would agree with you, but there was once a time that lead was almost up to 20. I think it was like 16-game difference between the Dodgers and the D-backs, and now it's down to 7.5. So the Diamondbacks definitely making work here. It would still take a lot to overthrow the Dodgers, but it is definitely on the table. So the Dodgers have a 7.5 game lead over the Diamondbacks. It's the second largest after the Braves and the Phillies. And then the Brewers and Cubs, a 5.5 difference, which is the same as the Rays and Yankees that are 5.5. The White Sox to the Tigers, 3.5, and then the Astros to the Rangers, a half a game difference. So all of the divisions are within a game to 8 games. When you take a look at the wild card standings right now, the Yankees are 7 games up on the line. Boston's 5.5 up on the line. They're both looking good right now. Texas currently holds the line at 500, 59-59. However, the Tigers are just one game back behind them. The Twins, a game and a half. The Guardians, a game and a half. Baltimore is 2 games. Mariners 3.5, Blue Jays 3.5. So still plenty of teams can be fighting through for that wild card spot. It's going to be a race to the finish line. In the NL, the Cubs are 6 games up on the line. The Diamondbacks and Phillies are currently tied for 5th and 6th in the wild card. They're tied. Padres just a game back of them. Marlins 3 games back. Cardinals 3.5. Nationals 4.5. Pirates 5.5. Reds 6. So the gap for the NL wildcard is a lot bigger than the gap for the AL, even though it's the same amount of teams realistically. That is what the standings check is saying, and that will now bring us to our upcoming series for the week here, and there are some good ones. The Mariners need to try to get rid of that losing streak against the Yankees in New York. The Red Sox and Blue Jays are playing 4, and the last time the Red Sox had a 3+ game losing streak was when they were swept by Toronto mid-June. From the 16th to the 18th, they were on a 4-game losing streak after getting swept, and the Red Sox are on a 2-game losing streak for the first time again since the beginning of July. So the Blue Jays will look to hand the Red Sox their first loss since they got swept by them. So it's going to be a good series there. Oilers and Twins will face off. The Reds are in Chicago to take on the White Sox. Guardians at Tigers, that's a big one for 2 teams who are, currently chasing down the White Sox in the AL Central. The Rays will take on the A's, and the A's just beat Boston, so there's no reason they shouldn't beat the Rays, right? Rangers are taking on the Angels. Mets at Braves. Pirates at Marlins. Cubs at Nationals. Phillies at Cardinals. Brewers at Padres, that's a fun one. Rockies at Diamondbacks. Astros at Giants, and then the Royals will take on the Dodgers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our episode here today. A little bit shorter. Like I said, I've been wanting to try to get it to shorter episodes for the rest of the month at least. The last 2 have been really big, so I'm trying to keep these about half an hour, maybe even less if I'm lucky. Did a pretty good job today, if I do say so myself, and I appreciate you all. Enjoy some baseball this week. Of course, like I said, about 45-ish games left of the season, so we're running out of time, so go out, see your favorite team, watch some baseball, because who knows what's going on next year. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, buddy, so much, and I will see you on Friday.